Welcome to Destination Animation, your trip around the world of cartoons and anime, stop motion and puppetry, special effects and CGI, and everything in between. I am your host, Carrie Dreblow.
And I'm your host, Jason Knott.
And I'm your host, Becca McGraw, and today we're talking about the 2019 live-action remake of the Walt Disney classic, Aladdin. I almost said Lion King.
Not yet.
Oh, we will be talking about that. We will.
Like next month. Can I spend this whole podcast actually just being excited about that?
If you so desire.
I do desire it.
Is that your wish?
That is my first wish.
Did you rub the lamp?
I haven't rubbed the lamp.
How dare you?
Well, okay, I guess we don't get that wish then. Are you entertained, listeners?
Are you not entertained? Are you not entertained? It's not why you're here. So anyway, let's talk about Aladdin.
All right. Hey, stand back right now. We're gonna... Okay, I probably should not do the Will Smith accent. That's probably gonna not come across very well.
No, don't.
Now, this is a story all about how my life got turned upside down, and I'd like to take a minute, don't get a cramp, I'll tell you how I became the genie of the lamp.
All right. I'll allow it.
In West Agrabah, born and raised.
See where he goes with this.
No, that's it. That's all I have.
Aw, man. The lamp is where I spend most of my...
Listeners, for those not in the know, Will Smith plays the genie.
For those blessed with ignorance.
Aw, Jason didn't...
He's not that bad.
Jason didn't like it.
He's not that bad. I'm just going off the initial trailer reaction.
Yeah, okay, yeah. Should we talk about the initial trailer first? I know you guys...
Yes.
Yeah, for sure. Before we get into the actual movie.
Yeah. You guys kind of talked about it in the news potpourri episode, which I wasn't there for.
Yes.
And I think I reacted to it like the next episode I was on, but... Oh boy, what a trailer, that first one.
Yeah, your reaction was like, hate it. Okay, now I'm interested.
Yeah, so the first trailer sucked, because the effects looked bad and it looked bad. And then the second trailer was like, alright, let's see what you're laying down here, Disney. I see you're bamboozling me. This looks alright.
I'll see what you're doing, Guy Ritchie.
Guy Ritchie. Jason, tell us all about Guy Ritchie.
He is a tough guy British director whose main bread and butter is directing gritty action movies.
Name 12.
And no.
And now here he is directing a non-gritty, vibrant Technicolor Broadway-style musical. Okay.
Did you find it felt like a play too? Like something about it felt like a stage play to me.
I actually didn't get that vibe for some reason.
Yeah, me neither.
Hey, so the movie was good. I'm saying it right now. I liked it a lot.
I agree. I like it. Like...
I don't.
Divorce, though.
All the Who's down in Whoville liked Christmas a lot. But the Jason who lived north of Aladdin did not.
Damn it, Aladdin. He's stealing my Wi-Fi. He keeps stealing my Wi-Fi. I hate it. I keep changing the password.
Not the Wi-Fi.
Oh my gosh.
He's such a moocher.
You know, like, if you steal Wi-Fi, that doesn't really make less Wi-Fi for someone else. Not really.
Well, it depends on your plan, maybe.
Well, maybe it depends on your plan. And maybe
I'm trying to make a joke. You're ruining my jokes.
You thought it was pointless, though, huh?
Yes, very much so.
Slappy squirrel voice. That was pointless.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was your Facebook post about this.
Well, I thought it was very pointful.
Pointful.
Yeah.
Alright, well, what did you like about it?
A lot of it. I thought the effects were pretty good. I saw people were criticizing them. You groaned. What was your opinion?
My opinion was, well, I got used to Will Smith as the genie when he was, like, blue. There were a couple of times where it felt like, really fake, but it wasn't as bad as that initial teaser was. Maybe they, like, had enough time to redo a few things, or maybe it was just a bad angle or something like that.
What is it with blue characters in CGI? You know what, though? We're getting ahead of ourselves. Should we summarize the plot?
Sure. Watch the original. There you go.
Ouch.
Yikes.
That's the plot.
Okay, well, they added a lot of things to this. It's not
Carrie,
just Aladdin.
Tell us the plot.
Yes. Okay, so the original plot of Aladdin is just that we have a riffraff, street rat,
Scoundrel!
Yes, take that. But basically a poor boy from... Oh, I should just do the Disney summary. He was a poor boy from the streets, and she was a beautiful girl from the palace.
Wow.
But perhaps he could be the one to set him and his king. Or no, oh God! I started mixing it with Beauty and the Beast. I'm getting my 90s Disney voice.
He has the lamp, Iago.
In any case, basically, one day he finds a magic lamp. Jafar, the villain of the story.
He's not the villain. He looks so friendly.
Jafar, Joe, wherever you are.
I am summarizing this movie very badly.
Yeah, there was a clip of Robin Williams, like, when he first finds out that Jafar's his new master, like, oh, your name's Jafar? I'll go push you. Jafar there.
Push him back. Jafar.
Oh, that's right. Jafar there. So good. Anyway.
So, basically, the original inspiration for this movie was, basically Disney did kind of a coming-of-age story, but the original idea was that they have kind of the serious story about actual Aladdin finding the magic lamp, and it's this contrast between he feels kind of worthless because of society, and he feels not worthy of the princess's love, who she disguises herself into the marketplace, and they meet, but he feels like if she found out that I'm just a street rat, she wouldn't even notice me.
Is this like the theme where that cut song kind of plays into?
Make you proud of your boy?
Yeah.
That's a song to Aladdin's mother.
Yeah.
Well, I know that. I mean, thematically, Jason.
I don't know.
In any case, so he wishes to become a prince, and he tries to win the heart of the princess, and then eventually everyone discovers that true worth lies within and not in, like, flashy external displays and stuff. And the original movie was much more about the romance between Aladdin and Jasmine. This one, they added a ton of stuff.
Did they, though?
Yes, they did.
Yeah, like the romance between the genie and the handmaiden. That was cute.
That was adorable. I shipped them. They're the best.
They're cute. There you go.
Yeah.
Jason.
Were you immune to the adorable relationship where she's like,
well, like
I want to...
That's a spoiler, technically.
Damn it. Okay, we'll cut that out and add it later. Sorry.
Yes.
I liked her relationship with Jasmine. I didn't like so much that she was just, like, a made-up character so that the genie could have a love interest.
You know what? I do like that they actually gave Jasmine someone to talk to besides the tiger.
Yeah.
Yes.
The tiger, yeah.
I have nobody to talk to. Wow. Except you, Rasha. Good kitty.
Raja is very obviously a CGI tiger, but he's very cute, so...
I can't believe they didn't just get the same tiger that played Richard Parker.
Yeah, also a CGI tiger.
He was like a real tiger in like 20 shots.
Oh, he was?
Yes.
So this trustworthy vizier, who doesn't... Oh my god, can we talk about the original movie for a hot second? We're gonna be talking about both. His design is incredible.
His design is so great.
Sultan has a line that's like, I'm an excellent judge of character.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Very fun.
Like, the whole point of Jafar in the original is that he's so obviously a villain, and he so enjoys being a villain. And, like, he's so fun to watch because he's so out there, and he's got this long face that's, like, bigger than everybody else's.
And he's got this sassy bird.
And he dresses so obviously evil.
Did you have a problem with the modern Jafar?
Yes, I did have a problem with the modern Jafar. He's boring.
Okay, to be fair, even I, who, like, cried at the end and was not expecting to because this movie got to me, I'm sorry, you guys, but Jafar was not one of my favorite parts of the movie. Jafar is a larger-than-life presence in the original movie.
Yes.
He's like a Maleficent-type character. He was animated by Andreas Deja, who was very much inspired by Mark Davis's work on Maleficent. And in this movie... Well, like, original Jafar, he's very much like a threatening quote. You dare threaten me, boy? And, there's kind of like that larger-than-life presence, where in this one, he's kind of like, skulk.
He's just very pissed off at the hand he's been dealt.
Very pissed off at his hand.
That was an innuendo, listeners.
Yeah. Good teenagers, take off your clothes.
Whoa.
And, like... No, they do give Jafar some scenes where he is genuinely intimidating. Like, the second scene he's in, he's, like, trying to find the diamond in the rough, and, like, his main lackey is not, performing to his expectations, so he just kills him. And there are things to his character that are interesting. Like, he's not satisfied with just being the vizier. He's always had to climb his way up the social ladder, and he's not satisfied with being second best.
That is one thing I liked. They gave him an inferiority complex in this, so he feels a bit more motivated.
And that would be great if he was interesting other than that.
Did y'all know the guy who played Jafar in the original, Jonathan Freeman? He played Jafar, like, in the original Broadway cast.
Yeah,
I enjoyed that.
he's been Jafar for years.
I was not aware of this.
And he played Grimsby in The Little Mermaid.
He did?
No, not in the movie, in the Broadway.
Oh, okay.
He
does have range.
Yeah, he was also the replacement for Cogsworth in the Broadway and the bank chairman in the Mary Poppins on Broadway.
Quite a talented gentleman, I must
Fidelity Fiduciary Bank. Banks! But yeah, Jafar is such an obvious villain, and it's so fun to watch him in the original, and it's such a shame that, like, in most of these Disney remakes, like, they've attempted to try and make you understand the villains by giving them some modicum of sympathy, but it doesn't make them more interesting.
You know what? I didn't think he was sympathetic. I thought he was just, like, more grounded. Fight me.
A little bit, I guess.
Yeah,
but
I'm siding with Becca on this one. Like, I feel like his motivation was more grounded.
I'm just tired of them trying to make you, like, understand these villains. Like, I didn't need, like, Gaston having PTSD from a war or something. I didn't need Maleficent to be Angelina Jolie Maleficent. I didn't need that. The only backstory I liked from these villains is that Shere Khan got his eye burned out by Mowgli's dad, and that gives him more motivation to hate Mowgli. But he already hated humans, and nah!
No, I agree with you there. Like, sympathetic villains are boring. I saw the trailer for the second Maleficent for the first time in front of this. I saw Aladdin 2019 with a friend, and we're both really hyped for The Lion King, so we were watching it. And I was saying, you know what, even if this is bad, at least we'll get a trailer for The Lion King. We didn't. Instead, we got a trailer for this Maleficent garbage.
It's the season of the witch.
What the hell was that? That was stupid. Okay, the first movie.
Her sexy outfit too.
God, why?
I know.
I feel like I have to be a dissenting viewpoint on the Jafar thing, because they did not change his motivation at all. They just fleshed it out more. Like,
yeah.
In Maleficent, they completely changed her motivation. She's not actually a bad guy. She's really a good person. She just made a mistake.
That's not a...
I'm gonna kick Maleficent.
Yeah, or the PTSD with Jafar. No, this time... Or PTSD with Gaston. This time it's just... In the first movie, he had no motivation except power. In this movie, you know, they actually show you, wow, this is like a genuinely evil person who feels threatened from all directions around him. And that doesn't make him sympathetic. He's still just as evil. It's just, you know, I felt it more deeply.
Fight! Do you guys think they're going to do something with, like, Scar for a backstory?
I hope not. Because he already has, like, an understandable, like, motivations.
He was next in line until the little hairball was born.
Yeah, I feel like that's reason enough.
I wonder how they might explain how he got his scar, though.
Yeah.
Please, no.
I'm not interested.
Well, there was a book. I know how he got his scar.
Yeah, you told me that story once.
Yeah, it's in a storybook. His name was Taka, which means garbage, and then...
That's terrible.
And he got... I don't remember what he was doing exactly, but it was a water buffalo that done it.
Ah.
Wasn't there another medium where, like, someone had, like, an obvious scar, and then it turns out that yeah.
Indiana Jones?
No, Captain Marvel.
Oh, yeah. The Flurkin got him.
That would be hilarious if that's Scar's backstory, too, where, you know, it's like...
Where Kitten Simba scratched him, so...
Ow, mother!
As long as that's not the reason why he hates the kid, I don't want that to be the backstory.
Yeah, that's why he makes it. That's why he hates him.
He scratch him. Kittens are sharp.
Yes.
Yes. Anyway, we're talking about Aladdin.
No, we're not. We're talking about The Lion King.
We should let's dissect this as we do.
Okay.
All right. So
I haven't seen this movie in like 2 weeks.
I just watched it.
Nice.
Any government agents that are listening, I did it legally. Shh.
Yeah, just to be clear.
Anyway, so the changes that happen in the story kind of start at the very beginning, where in the original Aladdin, we had kind of like an omniscient singer that turns out to be the genie in merchant form. Where
Well, possibly. It's still technically just a theory, right? Technically. Or was that confirmed?
That what?
That the merchant is Genie. I thought it was just like really heavily...
It was never really confirmed. It's just the lead scene.
Well,
and like really heavily implied.
Yes, very heavily implied. Same voice actor, same comic shtick, and somehow he has the lamp.
Please come closer. Too close. A little too close. there.
Just do the whole movie, Jason.
Yeah, welcome to Agrabah, city of mystery. No, that's enough.
And you find this merchandise this side of the sun on sale today. Come on down.
Do it faster. Do it like Robin Williams.
Look at this.
Okay, so we have to say the original Genie character was built for Robin Williams.
Oh, yeah.
Basically,
totally.
They imagined the Genie being a stand-up comedian doing all this improv and celebrity references and all this other stuff on stage, and they planned it for Robin Williams, and Robin Williams agreed later, and they were thrilled to have him. So, yeah, this character was built for him.
Yeah, was a lot of 92's Genie's script, was it mostly improv?
Yeah, mostly improv.
Nice. That's why it's
Like,
hilarious.
the serious moments were scripted, but all the comedy moments, that was just Robin Williams going nuts all over the script.
Mork and Mindy style.
Yeah, there's a great video of all the outtakes that, well, not all of them, because that'd be like a billion hours, but some of the best outtakes that Genie had and all the, like, other celebrity impressions he tried.
And you've never linked this to me?
Again, push him back, Jafar, farther, and also, give me a B, give me a B, give me a B, B, what's that spell?
Yeah. Jafar, he's our man. If he can't do it, great!
Yeah. That was all just Robin Williams improv, and then they picked the best ones and set them to the animation.
Make a plot out of this, guys. We just kind of let him in the studio.
Alright, Sparky, here's the deal. All the celebrity references, that was all Robin Williams going Robin Williams ham all over the script.
Underrated moment when, during the climax of the original, when, like, Aladdin's sneaking back in and Genie sees him, like, little buddy! His delivery on that, I can't mimic it, but it's so funny.
Little buddy.
Yeah. Funny guy.
Yeah.
So Will Smith had a tough act to follow.
Yeah.
Probably the most impossible act to follow in all of Disney, because again, that role was built for Robin Williams, where so many of the Disney characters, they could have been voiced by anybody, but they just happened to get the voice up. Well, it's not so much of the character designed for a particular actor, so Will Smith had to go Will Smith all over the script, basically.
Yeah. He said himself that he wanted to find a balance between paying homage to Robin Williams and doing his own thing. And for all my griping about this movie, I think he did okay.
I thought he did great.
I also thought he did great. Well, okay, I should say with stipulations. Yeah. So, every time that Will Smith was allowed to go Will Smith all over the script, I loved it. It was great. It was funny. It was, like his own character, where when he had to follow the story beats from the original movie, it kind of got a little bit awkward. You got that, well, this feels kind of like a different character that was written for a different part, but he's doing it now, so I don't know.
Yeah, fair enough.
That's kind of my attitude towards the entire movie, so that's a microcosm, but whatever.
We totally went off the rails there about you talking about how the beginning of the movie is different.
Oh, yes. So, in any case, in the original movie, we begin with Arabian Nights over the introduction credits, and then we have the merchant. In this movie, we start with a small ship and a large ship, and a dad and a mom telling their children stories. Or, excuse me, actually it's just the dad telling his children a story about how just because things are flashy doesn't mean that they're better, or I can't remember the exact wording, but...
Yeah, they're looking at the big ship and they're like, wow, I wish we had a big ship, and he's like, that doesn't... Just because it's bigger doesn't mean it's better.
Yeah. And then he starts telling them the story, and that is when we get Arabian Nights and actually pan over to Agrabah, city of mystery.
Agrabah.
And enchantment.
A Kingdom Hearts world in every Kingdom Hearts game except for the third one.
Well, then it's not everyone.
Well, hush.
We get the Cave of Wonders scene during this overture, right?
Yeah, during the song, yeah. Very rushed.
Not a fan.
No, me neither.
Yeah, this intro, they condensed so much. I don't know why, because it doesn't add to the story at all.
I don't like what they did to the cave, man. The cave was so cool in the 92 version.
Right.
And the CGI still holds up.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was one of the most disappointing things to me in the trailer that made me be like, wow, this looks like a cheaper version, because the cave is this big, epic tiger head that pops out of the desert, and there's this little, beetle thing that Jafar puts together, and it looks magical and mysterious and larger than life, and I
love the way it's animated, like, the way the light changes, because, like, its mouth is glowing and everything. It's so cool.
Yeah. And it's a hard boss in Kingdom Hearts 1. Anyway.
Then there's the 2019 version.
Yeah, it's a hole in the wall.
It's just, yeah, it's a tiger head carved into, like, the side of a mountain, and it doesn't even move. It looks like the Cave of Wonders they have over in Disneyland, in the Storybook Land, right?
You didn't take me on the Storybook Land ride, so I can't comment. You said that one was for babies, Jason.
I'm sorry.
How dare you?
I'm sorry. I'll take you on it next time.
Okay.
Anyway.
You fiend.
You fiend.
Fiend.
That's my second wish of the podcast. I wish to go on Storybook Land next time we're in Disneyland.
But yeah, the Cave of Wonders, it doesn't even, like, really talk. Its eyes flash, and, like, it has Frank Welker reprising his role as, you know, the cave and even Abu, but
Abu.
the cave itself doesn't talk. Abu.
The cave's mouth will close if you displease it, and that's it.
Yeah.
And you know what? About the cave, just to jump ahead a little bit, like the interior of the cave, I thought the sets in this movie were pretty nice, but the cave scene really shows you the difference between animation and live action.
Yeah.
In the animated version, the interior of the Cave of Wonders is, like, completely gold and bright and beautiful. It's shiny!
Yeah.
It sparkles like a sunken pirate's wreck. Scrub the deck, Jason.
Can make it look shiny.
Well, I mean, they dove into the realm of monsters through a cave, so maybe the Cave of Wonders is the leftover from Tamatoa's Horde, Disney crossover cinematic universe.
He does have Genie's lamp on his back, doesn't he? That's a thing, isn't it?
Oh yeah, he does.
There you go.
Cinematic universe.
Oh, we're gonna have to talk about Yago, aren't we? But yeah, in the live action version, it's just a cave with gold everywhere, and it's not as impressive. Maybe it would have worked if you didn't have the image of the original movie.
I find that, like, real gold, like, it's not as impressive as animated gold.
Yeah.
Like, I got that in the second Hobbit movie, The Desolation of Smaug, where, like, when you go into, this is tangent, but it's the same basic thing. You go into Smaug's, like, horde, his gold horde, and, like, it's not shiny at all. It's realistically, like, dark, and it's a little less impressive because of that to me.
And the big golden statue melts, and it's stupid.
That was when the movie officially lost me.
That's not how anything works, actually. Nothing.
Anyway, that's for another episode.
Yeah, that's not how this works. That's not how any of this works.
But yeah, the same basic thing with the Cave of Wonders here. It's like, all right.
Yeah, this was like...
It's more realistic, but that doesn't make it, like, better.
I mean, they did their own thing. Like, this Cave of Wonders, it was a lot of rocks, and it had gold on the rocks.
On the rocks.
Barkeeper, I would like a gold on the rocks. Shaken, not stirred.
And there was a carpet under the rock, and there was a monkey on the rock, and there was a gem that the monkey was tempted by, but it wasn't as impressive. We're way ahead, though.
Yeah.
And the fleas in the hole, and the holes in the ground, and the green grass grows all around. Anyway.
We are one jump ahead of the movie, one jump ahead of the song.
This was the... Okay, you know what?
I think we're taking tangents too far.
Heck, this was an Ashman song, right? One Jump Ahead?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, so it's a great song. The sequence in this movie was dumb. The way they kept doing some they did some dumb shit with the camera.
Cinnamon.
Where it kept, like, speeding up and slowing down in a really dumb way, and I was watching it. This is within, like, the first 5 minutes of the movie, and I was watching this, so I was like, God, please don't let the whole movie look like this. I was getting, like, secondhand embarrassment watching it. It was so bad.
It's like what they did for Mad Max Fury Road's editing, where they like intentionally left out a few frames and like sped it up a bit to make it. But
that looked cool.
Intentionally look hectic, yeah. But it looked cool there. Here, it's just jarring.
Yeah.
And like, why are you doing this?
What is this? Sultan Fury Agrava?
Sultan Fury.
I did my best.
What is Sultan Fury?
Sultan Mad Max Fury Agrava.
Oh, Sultan Fury. I get it. I get
salt
it. I thought you said salt and fury. I'm like, what is that?
My third wish is for that joke to be erased.
Jason, editor, make it happen.
Anyway, this is where I really feel like Guy Ritchie was miscast as the director of the movie, because, like, he can do really impressive action scenes. I've only ever seen, like, his 2 Sherlock Holmes movies, but I really love those, because they're just dumb, but they also are fun to watch. And the action is really good in them, but here I don't think he knows how to film a good, like, musical number very well.
Yeah, this musical number felt so out of place. Can I complain?
Yeah, please complain, because you're totally right.
Okay, I want to talk about diegesis for a second. So, for those uninitiated, diegesis is the question of whether something is happening diegetically, i.e., organically in the real world versus non-diegetically, where it is just an extension of like over-exaggeration of the imagination. Live-action musicals kind of have a problem with this. So in the original Aladdin, it's okay, like, it's kind of understood that the songs are non-diegetic, but the entire movie is non-diegetic in a way, because it's exaggerated and caricatured. In this movie, you have a very realistic-looking character in a very realistic, grounded setting, and then all of a sudden they start singing a song while running away from palace guards.
Yeah, and they kind of jump into it, if you will.
It's just such a whiplash to all of a sudden have this non-diegetic song in the middle of nowhere. And the funny thing is, they changed the diegesis of the opening song by having it be a story song sung by the dad character. Like, in the original one, it was kind of just like an omnipotent choir singing over the opening credits, where here it is a guy on a boat, like, singing kind of an epic song to his children about this story, so it's diegetic, it's in-universe. And then all of a sudden, all this non-diegetic stuff is happening during one jump ahead, and it doesn't make sense!
So, maybe you could infer that Will Smith is just singing all the songs to his children.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Yes.
I wouldn't say that's the inference. I would say that's exactly what's established, like, later.
But the director doesn't give us any indication that that is
No.
what is happening.
They don't cut back to the narrator.
Yeah, if they could have done like a Princess Bride thing and cut back every so often, that would have made it a little more easy to, like, say, oh, it's just a story that a dad is telling, is telling to his kids.
Then you have the problem of it, like, breaks up the pacing, so it's kind of a two-edged sword. Like, if you break up the pacing to make the songs make sense, or you don't break up the pacing and the songs seem like they don't belong with the rest of the universe.
Yeah, that's fair.
Luckily, I found that, like, I agree with you, but I find it was only really an issue with One Jump Ahead. I found everything else flowed a little better.
A little bit.
A Whole New World was kind of awkward to me as well, and also...
Yeah.
Okay, Prince Ali I was 100% with. That was, like, one of my favorite scenes in the movie.
Yes.
That was a gorgeous
Yeah,
scene,
right.
but we'll get to that. And then also they have another very, very deliberately non-diegetic musical number during the climax where Princess Jasmine sings a song.
Ugh.
As the climax is happening, the frame stops and you see her moving through this
We Want an
ethereal
Oscar
space.
song.
And yeah, so again, I just feel like this universe has a diegesis problem, which happens a lot with live action musicals, again, because you have to sell that these people in this space are singing this song, and so you either have to kind of go over the top to make the entire world feel like it's a non-diegetic musical number, or find a way to explain everything.
Yeah.
I think it worked for me because... So the first Prince Ali was... Not Prince Ali. One Jump Ahead, clunky. But after that, I found the movie... Something about it kind of struck me like watching a stage play. I don't know why. Something about the framing, something about the performances, but like that kind of made the rest of the songs a little easier to digest, I guess. I don't know. I can't really explain why it gave me that feeling, but that's just the feeling I had.
It's just a feeling you got.
Yep.
What I thought was weird too is that this is where we are introduced to Jasmine in disguise before the song even starts, and she's actually involved in the song, and this is how she meets Aladdin.
Yeah, I don't know how I feel about that. How do you two feel about that?
I feel like there was a reason why she was introduced, like, separate from Aladdin, so that we could see even from, like, the, top of the social ladder that people can be dissatisfied with their lives there too, and when they meet, when Aladdin, who is dissatisfied with his life and wants to be on top of the ladder, there can be this, like, contrast, like,
where they both feel trapped.
Yeah.
But, okay, my issue with it is I feel like this is one spot where it might be kind of weird to watch the 2019 movie if you haven't seen the 92 version.
Yeah.
I don't know if it would make as much sense if it would flow right. I don't know.
Yeah,
I can't
kind
say.
of like, who is this person?
Yeah, I mean, I've watched the 92 version 200 times, so I can't really say for sure.
That's also the thing, like, you want to judge these things on their own, but they can't really exist outside of the originals for a lot of them.
I do feel like it's kind of an issue with, like, how much you enjoy / nitpick something depends heavily on how much you cared about the original. Like, it's very difficult to separate them when you have a huge fondness for the original.
And unfortunately for us in Disney movies.
Unlike The Jungle Book, this movie does not fully separate itself from the original. Like, The Jungle Book so much did its own thing that it's basically telling a completely different story.
Yeah.
Except for a couple songs.
A couple
Yes,
songs.
a couple of songs. They did keep the bare necessities and the
King
monkey
Louie.
song sung by Christopher Walken.
Now, don't try to kid me, man cub. I'm gonna shove this watch up my ass.
Where,
Jason
this...
thinks he's really funny.
Yeah, I think Jason is funny.
It's Pulp Fiction.
In doses.
I know it's... Oh, I gotta live with him. I'm teasing you, I love you more.
Oh, thank you.
So yeah, this movie did not diverge from the source material as much. It still kept the same basic story intact with all the songs still intact. So
+1.
Yeah, it kind of did its own thing with Princess Jasmine, and it kind of did its own thing with completely reorganizing the beginning of the movie, but the rest of the movie is pretty much the same.
They added in that weird white prince who's like not Prince Ahmed. He's just kind of there.
He reminds me of the king from Hamilton for some reason.
Oh, yeah.
You'll be back, yes, you'll see, you'll remember you belong to me.
Might just be because
Your tiger bit my underwear.
Could be just because he's the one awkward white guy in the movie.
Yeah. Disney said, we're putting a white guy in this movie, damn it.
I'll be back, yes, you'll see, though your tiger bit on my high knee. I'm sorry, I had to throw that in.
Do it.
It's very good.
Yeah, he just because he's some awkward white dude.
Yeah.
Goodness. I thought it was funny.
But Jasmine, at least, she has the new motivation of, she doesn't just want to marry for love, even though that's kind of what she wants. She also, her main motivation is that she wants to be Sultan.
Yeah. I can dig it.
Yeah.
I will say, Jasmine's character arc in this is the change that I liked the most from the original, and the addition that I liked most. Her character arc is great. In my opinion.
Yeah.
Star Kids Twisted did it first.
So, like, with Jasmine's introduction, I was also kind of thinking about this. It's like, in the original introduction, she's kind of like, sulking in her garden about, Papa, if I marry, I want it to be for love. Marry for love?
Jasmine.
I was thinking, with her new motivation for, like, politicking, would it fit to have that same kind of character introduction? Like, I do also feel like there was kind of something missing when they just give you the first image you see of Jasmine is in the marketplace in disguise.
Yeah.
But would her new motivation work with that same kind of like fountain palace scene? That is, I don't know.
I think they could have rearranged it because there's a scene a little bit later where the Sultan's kind of looking over his maps, and because Jafar wants to start wars with their allies, maybe a scene kind of like that where Jasmine tries to give her input but is kind of shut down.
Yeah, they moved that scene later in the movie for some reason.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know, maybe because they thought that like it'd be confusing to have Jafar there when he was focused on the Cave of Wonders. I don't know.
True. Yeah.
I do feel like they could have moved stuff around.
Jafar he can multitask. He's a man of many. I lost my train of thought. Anyway.
He's a man. And a bird.
He's a man.
Hey, they ruined Iago.
Iago's boring too.
Yeah, he's just a parrot now.
Yeah.
Like, I like Alan Tudyk, but, man,
Give him dialogue.
Gilbert Gottfried.
Iago was so funny in the original.
Iago's the
He was.
best. He's
Like,
so funny.
Up until Genie shows up, he's the funniest character in the
If
movie.
I have to take one more order from that chump, and someday we'll take orders from a chump husband. Look at this. I'm so stressed out, I'm molting.
Like, his first introductory scene is he acts like a regular parrot, but then he's like, geez, where'd you dig this bozo up? And my mom always says that made her laugh so hard the first time.
Brat the lamb! Brat the lamb!
There's the scene where they're like, where he steals the Sultan's ring and they're like looking in the hourglass or whatever. This scene is buck wild out of nowhere in the 92 version, by the way.
And it kind of is, yeah.
It's very wild, and Iago's running on the wheel.
Wait, where did you get this ring? Where is this power from? How do you know that this is the person?
Oh, no, he got the ring
Explain,
from the
movie!
Sultan.
Explain!
But like, why is it powerful? Yeah, and the lightning storm, no, they gotta wait for a storm. Anyway, they're coming like up the door, and like Jafar just slams the door on Iago. It's funny.
Yeah.
It's
Jafar, I'm stuck.
he just kicks him.
That hurt!
Ugh, goodness.
They definitely they pretty much got rid of the comedy relief. The Genie is the comedy relief now.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, Iago has some funny lines here and there, but, like, it's not as good as Gilbert Gottfried, who is just funny in every scene he's in.
I'm glad the carpet character is still just in the background being charming.
Yeah. Carpet's cool.
Yeah.
See, again, the question is, would a Gilbert Gottfried parrot have worked in this live-action version? Or is that something that you can only get away with in animation?
Yeah. Like, they are trying for a more realistic approach, and that's why Iago is kind of more like a real parrot now.
He still gets his one-liners, but he's mostly mimicking.
Yeah, so if you had Iago, like, as he was in the animated movie, it would look weird if he was, like, dressed up as a, like, stork, not stork,
Flamingus.
female flamingo, yeah, and, like, knocking over another flamingo when he's eyeing.
Ali?
You got a problem, bud?
Now that you think about it, the original Aladdin wasn't consistent with that. It had one talking animal and then two non-talking animals, Abu and Raja. So,
That's true.
Now that I think about it, it doesn't really make sense.
Maybe Jafar wanted somebody to crack wise with.
So he magicked someone into a parrot, or magicked the parrot to be able to talk, or who knows? We'll never know. I don't know if the animated series covered this one.
No, it didn't.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah, we're getting
Or
off
any of the
topic here.
sequels. No, we're not. We're talking about Aladdin.
Okay.
What happened next in the movie?
Well, like, Aladdin and Jasmine kind of hit it off, but after Abu, kleptomaniac that he is, steals Jasmine's...
Abu's a monkey, listeners.
Yeah, Abu is the monkey. Abu! He looks terrible in this movie. Anyway.
Whoa, I thought he looked good.
I didn't think so. Like, I seriously just 100% disagree with you on that. Like, you talked about not liking the way Abu looked. I didn't even notice through the whole movie.
Yeah, I thought, like, I remember in the first trailer when they showed him on his shoulder, I wasn't sure if it was a real monkey or CGI. Fight us,
No.
Jason.
No, I disagree entirely. Nothing about him looked real to me, and the faces he made
I'm
were just weird.
confused.
Me too. I don't like how confused
Different
I am.
strokes for different folks, my friends.
Different strokes. What you talking about, Jason?
Now the world don't move to the beat of
I've
this
already
one
made
monkey.
that joke.
Anyway.
I'm sorry.
Black.
These are the jokes, kids. But yeah, Abu steals Jasmine's like mother's bracelet or whatever, and Jasmine leaves in a huff. And Aladdin goes back to the palace under the presumption that she's the princess's handmaiden to give it back to her. But he gets kidnapped by the palace guards.
That's called arrested.
Yeah, there you go. True.
Kidnapped.
He gets taken to Jafar, who tells him that, oh, that's actually Princess Jasmine. She was just playing with you because she likes to toy with commoners.
Which is a lie.
Maybe. He puts the idea in his head to, if he helps him go into the Cave of Wonders and get the lamp for him, then he can impress Jasmine with all the riches in the world and such. Riches and golds and such.
We get a little bit of backstory for Jafar here, where, like, I used to be a street rat, too.
Oh, you're right.
Yeah,
I was born with scum like you. I am just a street rat too.
Jafar and Jafar. It's very close name.
Jafar, wherever you are. I came back.
One last thing they did, in the original, after One Jump Ahead, it's just Aladdin in his place, and he sings a reprise where he's like, riff raff, street rat, and that's where
a load of crap.
But, we actually kind of get Aladdin's motivation, where here it's combined with the Jasmine scene, so I feel like it came across a little less clear to me. I don't know.
They talk about their dead mothers, how I think Jasmine's mom used to sing a song or something, and Aladdin's like, my mom sang that too, and my first thought was, oh god, they're related.
Heck. Oops. Zelda is what is she?
Zelda's been what?
See, nitpicky Disney internet critics, they have mothers. We didn't forget about their mothers, like everyone says Disney does.
At least they didn't go into how she died in this version, like, oh, she died of the plague, this was totally necessary. Anyway.
Jason has issues with the Beauty and the Beast remake.
I do.
Honestly, based on what Lindsay Ellis said, I probably have issues with it too, but I don't feel like this movie went into the over-explaining quite... No, I haven't.
Yeah.
Heck, I know, I'm bad.
Stay away! No.
No, I do feel like...
Anyway.
Based on what Lindsay Ellis said, I don't feel like this movie had as big of a problem. They didn't, retcon the plot to change things and explain things that didn't need to be explained. They kept some of the magic, and they kept a lot of the... Well, I don't know. It's like the things that they added to explain things were so quick and out of the way so fast that they didn't change the movie, in my opinion.
And they didn't have a weird magical book that kind of defeated the purpose of being trapped in the castle for 20 years.
Yeah.
Yes.
But yeah, the Cave of Wonders. Aladdin ends up in there. He, the same plot beats as the original movie. Like, One thing that got me is that Aladdin's just knocking over and touching all these gold pieces
Yeah.
and such. Like, what?
Well,
didn't the
okay.
Cave of Wonders just say? Didn't he just say?
Well, I think maybe, because some of like the jewels and things, if he looked at them, it'd be like tempting him. So maybe if you knock over a coin, it's not a big deal. Maybe only some of the treasure is cursed.
I mean, he can't touch the carpet, I guess. I don't know. Maybe.
Yeah, that was
he
always
doesn't
weird.
count.
The carpet's not. I think carpet is the greatest treasure of them all. I think the real treasure was the friends we made along the way, like carpet.
There you go.
So
But
there
yeah,
you go.
Abu is a greedy little gets infatuated by this ruby, and he's like, "Oh, I'm fascinated by this ruby." And what was that?
That's your Frank Welker impression, I guess.
See, in the original movie, he licked his lips like he wanted to eat the giant ruby.
Yeah.
Oh, it looked delicious too. Aladdin acquires the lamp. Abu acquires death for all of them.
Yeah. And I found that Frank Welker's delivery as the Cave of Wonders in this scene was nowhere near as scary as it was in the original.
He's like 30 years older. Give him a break.
Yeah, he sounded bored. And he's still good as Abu. He still can do great animal impressions, but like as the Cave of Wonders, he's like, "Oh, you touched the treasure, now you're gonna die." Whatever.
That's true. In the 92 version, I was scared for my life. Every time I watch this movie, I think I'm gonna
Infidels!
die.
Okay, so I will say, this is going to be another point of contention for me, because in this movie, I gasped when the lava started coming out. In the original movie, it is very, very, very blatantly, obviously, early 90s CGI. It looks fake.
It still looks great to me. Like, I went back and watched it, and then I was like, "Oh, this looks pretty good."
There's no backgrounds. There's not really any backgrounds. It's just like kind of textured walls. It's
Okay, that's right.
It's
But
to
the
their-
lava looked pretty good.
The lava looked awesome to me. I was like, wow, this looks amazing.
Yeah, in the 92 version, I think maybe it was a trick by the animators to make that scene be like really fast, so you don't really focus on any one thing for too long.
Yeah.
You know, because some of it does look a little aged.
Yeah, a little bit. Like that part where they like go down, like do like a little loop.
Yeah.
That part looks a little video gamey, but
Yeah,
I
sure.
feel like the rest of it holds up pretty well still.
Yeah, also, okay, there's like a universe problem in the original where they went through all this treasure to get there. Where's the treasure on the way out?
It melted into lava, duh.
Oh yeah.
Sure, I don't
For
know.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like this kind of kept the consistency a bit more, and so it felt like the stakes were a bit higher in this one, and the universe was like, it felt like they were still in the same universe, and the universe is going to hell. There we go.
Jafar doesn't dress up as the weird old man.
I know he doesn't in like the Broadway version either, but him dressing up as the old man is so fun. Like he's so extra.
We're sorry, Kathleen Zelensky.
Remember the golden rule.
Throw me the lamp!
Throw me the lamp!
Like he's so desperate for that lamp. And like in this one, he doesn't even like threaten him with a knife like your eternal reward. He's just like, "Oh well, I'm gonna step on your toesies."
That scene's so infamous that there's a weapon in Team Fortress 2 named after that line. It's a knife called Your Eternal Reward.
Yeah, it's a great line, and like there are scenes where Jafar straight up kills people, so I don't know why they had to tone down him trying to kill Aladdin.
I don't know.
Me neither.
It's weird. I have issues with Jafar, especially.
Yeah, I do feel like, as far as my issues with the movie go, Jafar is one of the bigger ones. I like the motivation that they added, but they really did not do well on the scenes from the original that he's in. It's just like, oh my gosh, he is so not the original Jafar.
Especially in the climax. But we'll get to that. We're only just getting to the Genie.
The Genie, he comes.
Will Smith
oh boy,
Genie.
he coming.
Yay. So, he looks weird when he's blue.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm still not a fan of the CGI here. I feel like it's real, like, the thing that gets it for me is the arms. Why are his arms so short? Like,
Yeah,
I
that's
don't
what
know.
it is, isn't it? Yeah.
Like, his
that's
arms
it.
look short, but really beefy, but also they're not, like, a defined beefy. They're just, like, this weird,
good, though.
smooth blue mush of beefy. So, it just doesn't do it for me, this character design.
Maybe they were trying to give him, like, funny proportions because he's magical, but, like, no, you're right. Or maybe they didn't want the arms to extend past, like, into where his tail is for his silhouette or something, but no, I never noticed that, but you're right, it's the arms are too short. That's what it is.
They did motion capture for Will Smith when he was Blue Genie, and like, I don't know why they didn't just do blue makeup and kind of have him just be a genie.
He never had his baggy pants form.
Yeah, baggy pants.
Yeah,
And he spends a lot of the movie just as himself in a human disguise, so why didn't you just make him blue? You cowards.
I liked his human disguise. That was a good design.
I
Yeah.
actually like that. I guess, like, that outfit he wears when he's in human disguise is, like, from the Broadway show. There.
Yeah,
Ah,
yeah,
okay.
yeah.
Checkmate, atheists.
Yeah, got him. I like
Disney atheists.
I think it's cute and fun, like the way he's like introducing himself, and he starts doing the song, and then he does it kind of lame, and then like he does like the whole sequence, and it's fun. I like it. It's not the same as the '92 version.
I feel like they could have gone more high energy than they ended up doing.
Yeah,
I felt like it was reserved compared to the original, where, to be fair, part of that is just the limits of live action, because if you watch the animated version of A Friend Like Me, the backgrounds change just instantly. So, yeah. Again, it's the whole caricature thing with animation, where you can just go ham on the backgrounds and everything, and have things change instantly, and it doesn't make any, like, it doesn't clash with the universe as much.
And in singing that song, Robin Williams is like doing a completely different voice every line and everything. It's very bombastic.
And like if you went for a more like Baz Luhrmann style of editing and such, like you could really capture the energy that the animated had. But this kind of felt more like a action director out of his element trying to film a musical.
Yeah. Or also, like, the Can-Can scene from Moulin Rouge is also a good example of, like, a high-energy type of live-action musical scene. Yeah, I do feel like this didn't quite have the snap that it could have. This wasn't one of my favorite scenes in the movie, for sure. Other people have said they liked it, so I don't know if it's just I'm not getting something other people are, or I don't know.
Yeah. I'm just nitpicky.
Yeah, I liked it, but I'm not saying it holds even the tiniest candle to the original.
Yeah, I did like, though, at the end of it, when Aladdin's like, so, how does this work? And he's like, but the whole song was about how it worked.
All you gotta do is rub that lamp, and I'll say, Mr. Aladdin, sir, what will your pleasure be? Let me take your hair there, jot it down.
And I liked that Genie didn't really know Aladdin's name in this and was expecting somebody else.
Oh, yeah,
like,
he wasn't the guy.
What's your name?
Aladdin's not the guy. Jafar was
Aladdin's
the guy.
not the guy. Yeah. Have I mentioned that Aladdin in this feels miscast too?
You haven't mentioned it yet.
No.
He feels miscast. Like, what's his name? Mina Masood. I probably butchered that. Like, I'm sure he's a nice guy and probably had fun doing this movie, but he does not have the charm that, like, animated Aladdin did, and it feels very off some of his scenes because of that.
He wears a shirt in this whole movie probably because he has...
that's it.
Probably because he has nipples and the animated one didn't, and he can't show nipples on TV, so... I don't know what I'm saying.
Oh, come on. Like, pretty much every female Disney fan hasn't had a crush on Aladdin. That's, like, the most popular thing.
Listen, I didn't.
He doesn't have any nipples.
I was like one when that movie came out, so no, I did not.
Okay, fine. Well, people from my generation.
I am of your generation.
Checkmate.
I'll fight you.
Okay, never mind. Fine, maybe just my friends, whatever.
No, I think he must be a popular boy. Man, they didn't have the scene with Jasmine in that outfit during the ending. That was hot. Anyway. What happens next? Oh, they come out of the desert and he makes him a prince, and that's funny.
Yeah, pretty much not much has changed about... Well, okay, one big thing that they changed is that the way that Aladdin tricks the genie into getting a free wish is that he doesn't rub the lamp first, and where in the original he just says...
He goads him into it.
Yeah. He's like, not a very powerful genie. I bet he can't even get us out of this cave.
Excuse
I like that
me, better.
Did you rub my lamp? Yeah.
Yeah, I like that better than the not rubbing the lamp thing. That's
they added the stipulation that you have to be rubbing the lamp to make the wish in this movie, and I guess it added something?
I don't know if it added anything, it's just different.
Yeah, it's different. That's what they added.
Yeah. Like, there's lots of scenes like that where it's different. I don't know if that makes it better or worse. I don't hate it, but whatever.
Yeah, I think, I like the 92 version better with him, like, goading the genie into, because Aladdin's he's a bit of an ass. Let's be real.
Yeah. And again, the actor doesn't really exude that to me a lot of the time.
Yeah, also it does add a bit of, like, smartness to Aladdin's character, where...
Yeah, exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Should I go into the spoiler in the ending of how that plays in?
We'll talk about it in a minute.
Okay, not yet, then.
We can talk about it now. We're like an hour into the podcast.
Well, let's rush through. Let's rush through this. We'll go into Prince Ali.
Yes. Okay.
Make way. I'm sorry, I'm not the singer on the podcast. I don't know what I was doing. My fourth wish is to remove that.
My favorite scene in the movie in terms of production design. This scene is gorgeous.
Yes, this was the scene that in the second trailer caught my attention. I was like, okay, this might be alright, because it's very colorful, very bouncy, very awesome.
They went all out with this.
I'll give the movie credit for its production design and its costumes, for sure.
Yeah, this movie, like, one of the few musical numbers in the movie where they really went with, like, the big cast of hundreds and the colors and the outfits, and I was just
and
like...
the 75 golden camels, the purple peacocks, they had like 63. Slaves, servants, flunkies, proud to work for them.
No slaves in this one.
No slaves in this one. He's got the elephant.
They changed some of the lyrics to make it a little better, I think.
Brush up your Friday salam.
Yeah, Friday. It's not Sunday salam anymore.
Hey, they actually figured out when the Sabbath was. Oh my gosh.
Oh, okay.
that's why they
yeah,
changed
we were
it.
wondering before you got your mic working why they changed it.
Oh, yes. Okay. Well, religion major. So, in original Judaism and Islam, the Sabbath was from Friday night at dusk to Saturday at dusk.
So not at all Sunday.
Right. Sunday was a pagan thing. They celebrated the first day of the week, where the lore of Judaism is on the seventh day God rested, and morning and night were the first day. So they judge their days based on morning and night, and so the Sabbath was the seventh day of the week instead of the first day of the week. That was totally a Christians trying to change the Sabbath to coincide with the pagan festival so that the pagans would take their celebrations and make them Christian celebrations instead. So that is why people have church on Sundays, and that is the story of that. So yes, that is why it's the Friday Salam, because Friday is the holy day according to both Islam and Judaism.
And now
this
you know.
has been Carrie's Religion Corner.
Nice. I learned.
Congratulations, everyone. Don't now you've reaped the benefits of my $30,000 in education.
Yikes.
At least it came to use.
Huzzah.
But yeah, I feel like, again, the energy in the song could have been better. Poisonally. Like, if there was a little more, like, of the editing that the animated movie had, where it's, like, you know, constantly changing and showing you the extravagant things that Prince Ali has, and Will Smith Genie acting a bit more as a hype man than he like, is. Like, there's one bit where he actually goes into the crowd and, like, starts, like, talking about Prince Ali, and that's when he's in drag.
Yeah. I don't know, maybe the 95 white Persian monkeys didn't impress you, Jason, but they
Didn't impress me.
Wow.
See, this to me felt like a classic, like, 1960s bombast Hollywood musical. Like, this...
That is what they were going for, yeah.
Yeah, like, this seems like one of those old show-stopping Hollywood numbers where, you know, the goal is, here's the spectacle of the costumes and the dancing, have fun. And I did have fun. I loved it.
Heard your princess was hot. Where is she?
Yeah, that was a little clunky.
Like, what was wrong with the original lyrics?
Heard your princess was a sight lovely to see.
They flowed way better. Anyway.
They did change a lot of... This is one thing. They changed a lot of the lyrics, which... I don't know why. Again, it's not better or worse to me. It's just different.
Yeah. Tim Rice came on, like in Beauty and the Beast, to add in some new lyrics and a new song, too.
Hey, I protest. So,
What?
Jasmine's song in this movie, she's got a song in this movie, it's written by a completely different team. Completely different songwriters.
You know what? That's why it sounds so different.
Yeah.
100%, yeah.
I could tell right away listening to it. It's like, this was not written by Tim Rice. This is not something from the Broadway play that they brought in. Jasmine has a song in the Broadway play.
Yeah.
She does?
She does.
I think so.
Yeah. Remember?
I haven't seen the Broadway play, so...
Me neither, but I saw a post on Tumblr from when Dee Dee Magno Hall played Jasmine and sang a song.
Oh.
And maybe I'm biased because Pearl from Steven Universe is my favorite character of all time, but why didn't they just use that song that already existed? So because they can't get an Oscar for it, probably.
That's true.
Yeah.
And they're probably not gonna, because this song was bad.
I don't think the song was bad. It just very much clashed with the tone of the original score, which is still intact.
Yeah, I get the message, but it feels like lip service almost, especially when it, like, interrupts the climax, and then, like, you could have cut that and nothing would have changed.
Yeah, it was weird. It was like...
What do you mean nothing would have changed? That's Jasmine's entire character arc that she feels
Jason.
speechless. Come on.
I say nothing would have changed because, like, you go from one scene of her being like taken away, and then the next scene she comes back in and it's like, hey, you stand up to Jafar, and like, you didn't need a whole song to come to that. You could have just had like a quiet moment of reflection for her, and then she's like, nah, screw this. Then goes back in and says, hey, stand up to Jafar.
Okay, that climax does have pacing issues. I will agree with you on that, but it's a bookender.
Yeah,
True.
gotcha.
I don't know. But, okay, so that is one of my gripes, is this is very, very, very obviously not an Alan Menken song. Like, it sticks out from the rest of the score like a sore thumb. You can tell this was written by a more pop song kind of writer.
Yeah, sounds more modern.
Yeah.
It was not lyricized by neither Tim Rice nor Howard Ashman. We are fans of these people on this podcast, and we do not care for what they did.
Yeah, to be fair, it was the
people,
songwriters from La La Land, so I can't speak too negatively about them, but yeah, it's just... I will say... The problem with this song, and again, it's kind of a microcosm with my problems with the movie in general, they did their own thing, but they also tried to keep all the elements from the original movie intact. And to me, it was painfully obvious that they did not quite mesh. So this is just one example of it, where you have this, like, poppy song in the middle of a score that was written not by pop writers, but by Broadway composers. It does not sound like a Broadway song, and yet the rest of the movie is still trying to be that same Broadway musical that the original was, while also adding all of these live action elements and also adding all of these new elements to try to mesh them together, and it just does not fit for me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But ultimately, the movie still made me cry at the end, so they're doing something right. So, yeah,
At what part?
Again,
At what part? We're talking spoilers now, people. Might as well just put that
Are we
warning
officially
out.
moving into spoiler territory?
Might as well,
Well,
yeah.
there is the whole new world sequence, but there's probably not a lot to talk about that.
Nah, it's not as fun as the original.
It's not, because they don't go around the world, they just go around the outskirts of Agrabah, which again is probably more realistic. But
Yeah,
at the
to be
same time-
fair.
But at the same time, it's not as romantic.
They
'cause,
don't go
like,
to
take
Greece.
Your girl,
They
take
don't
your
go
girl to Greece.
To Egypt.
They don't
to...
foreshadow all of the remakes that they're going to be doing in the future. What's with that, Disney?
Yeah!
would
that could have
actually-
been the best opportunity!
That actually would have been cute, honestly. It would have, like... that would have been cute. Go through the Great Wall of China.
Look, there goes Mulan. It's gonna suck so bad.
Think about it in the original movie. They go to Greece, they're doing Hercules. They go to China, they're doing Mulan. Ooh.
Are they doing Hercules?
I don't think so.
Well, no. I'm saying in the original movie.
Right.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah,
okay.
in the original, for sure. Anyway, now we can go into spoilers.
Okay, there is one more addition. They have this party scene where
right.
after he comes into the palace and makes a fool of himself by not knowing what he's talking about, like, the Sultan invites him to a night party, and there's a super awkward scene where...
Jams!
Yeah.
Jams! We didn't even talk about the scene
God.
where he offers the jams. Did you not
The
like
jams.
it, Jason?
No.
Heck!
I will say it was unnecessarily awkward. Like, you can make it awkward without making it, like, look at the awkwardness! Awkward!
Like, I think what it is Aladdin charming in this, or is he awkward? Make up your minds.
That's fair.
Well, you know, I feel like he's charming when he's in his element, but I will say from the party scene, I kind of got social anxiety feels, where it's like, oh my god, I don't know any of these people, I'm scared. Where when you think about it, like, he lives alone,
With a
his
monkey.
yeah. Like, being in a high society setting with, like, it's not with his typical kind of people, he's totally out of his element. I felt this.
And usually if you had Will Smith with you, you'd be super chill, because, like, he's going to take care of you, but he doesn't, because he's hitting on a honey, so...
Yeah, he's trying to get...
Yeah, he hasn't been to a
He's trying
party
get
in
some.
thousands of years. He don't mess this up for him.
Yeah. What would have been happening with society 10,000 years before this movie was happening?
Depends on when this movie happened.
Well,
Like
that's what I mean.
ancient Assyrian civilization or something? I don't know.
Nobody parties like the ancient Assyrians, I guess. What were you even wishing for then?
I mean, that was when the Epic of Gilgamesh was composed, so...
That explains
Oh,
so
yeah.
much. Gilgamesh had the lamp. He was the guy.
I wish my brother and Kidu were still alive. Sad.
What? Can't wish for that.
That's points to you if you get that, my friends.
I don't. Anyway.
That Mesopotamian lore.
We're getting off topic.
Very much so.
There's a dance sequence, and it's kind of weird. But
A
that's-
little weird.
That's fine.
I actually kind of like the staging of the dancing in this scene. But
So
like,
of all the stuff in this movie you'd hate, this is the part you like, the unnecessary dance sequence.
well, like, as far as unnecessary dance scenes go, it's well choreographed. I'm saying.
Yeah, I thought it was fun.
Fine. Then what happens?
Okay, then we actually go to the whole new world sequence.
Yeah.
Aladdin and the genie come into the room, and there's an adorable scene where the handmaid and Jasmine are going back and forth about being excited that they're there, but they don't want to show it to them. So.
Yeah.
No, I really liked giving Jasmine a gal to be a pal with.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And see, again, this is part of the movie that it's completely not in the original movie. The director was allowed to direct his own scenes the way he wanted and not have to worry about, the original did it this way. And I love this scene. I love pretty much all of the scenes that this director staff got to do themselves. I love those additions that they did.
Yeah.
Again, my problem is just trying to mesh them with all of the original stuff that they had to leave in because this still has to be a remake of Aladdin.
Yeah.
But yeah, the scene is cute, and their relationship is cute, and I love it.
Me too.
It's alright.
Aw, Jason hates love.
I do not I love you very much.
Well, do you love love?
Yes.
Well, prove it.
I'll prove it by moving on. Let's talk about the climax.
Oh, God. Okay, I have problems.
Me too.
Here we go, finally. Join the hate. Join the hate.
Where was Big Snake?
Good.
Where was Big Snake?
Flow through you. I know.
Guys.
Where was the big snake? Why did
Where
they turn
Big
it
Snake?
into the big
Snake.
parrots? It's so stupid.
Big Snake was best part. Where's Big
Where'd my
Snake?
arms go? Just kidding, I'm a snake.
Why did I do Big Bird, Big Parrot, Big Bird? Big Bird's not threatening.
Big Bird crashed in.
We also do get a scene of Aladdin being sad and mopey before the climax, which I don't know.
Who cares about that?
Yeah, and
Like, I feel like, talking about that, they didn't really play up the angle of Aladdin is lying, and he doesn't really feel conflicted by that to me. He what we get before this is he starts being all haughty because he starts acting like a prince.
Yeah, that's true.
And, like, he's like, oh, well, I don't have to waste my last wish on you.
Well, that kind of plays into the not all that glitters is better theme, right? Just because he was a fancy prince, he wasn't necessarily a better person.
Well, yeah, but...
In fact, he was a bad person.
I didn't notice this the first time through, but during the rewatch, I did notice that I feel like the overarching plot thread with Aladdin should have been feeling inferior and feeling like he doesn't belong with this group and feeling like he needs the genie to help him keep up the act versus all of a sudden being like hoity-toity, oh, well, people believe what you show them. It's true. I'm a hotshot, yeah.
That's what the original was. Like, Aladdin has this moment where he's like, if I have to keep this lie up, then I need the genie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
I'm smart, guys.
I came over to Jason's side on the rewatch.
Weh. This is also where, like, Jafar's kind of plot thread of I used to be a street rat too kind of plays in because he steals the lamp.
Yeah, there is actually a scene.
That's right.
Yeah, instead of Iago flying in and stealing the lamp in flamingo form, Jafar actually swipes it from Aladdin in the streets while Aladdin is going off to be sad and mopey.
Yeah. Jafar's gonna be happy when he sees you. Excellent work, Iago. Go on.
No. On a scale of 1 to 10, you are an 11.
So he wishes for 3 wishes. What does he wish for? To be salted.
He doesn't wish for 3 wishes.
Ixnay on the wishing for more wishes. 3. Uno, dos, tres. No executions, exchanges, or refunds.
Yeah, he gets 3 wishes.
Okay, well, he wishes to be Sultan.
Yeah.
And then the captain of the guard gets a 2-second character arc, I guess.
Yeah, the Hakim guy.
I
his
like
name is.
it. I'm sorry.
They have a Razul in this movie, but he's like a regular guard, and they don't never say his name.
Carrie, I don't disagree. Like, I like it, but it was just kind of happened in like 5 seconds.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, and this climax has a pacing issue, alright? After, oh my god, everything is going to hell, then we have a dead stop, where Jasmine breaks the 4th wall. Well, okay, no, not breaking the 4th wall. She stops the action, turns, walks through the scene where she's like a ghost that's not interacting with anyone, so they're very clearly establishing this is going on in her head and it's non-diegetic, and she imagines herself like standing up in Jafar's face and she's like, I will not be speechless, and then finally this reprise of speechless goes on for way too long.
Yes.
It's such a break in the pacing where we go from, oh crap, things are going down, to, okay, I guess now we're just stopping time and...
by the time she gets out of her, like, thing, she's already in the dungeon. It's like, wait, what?
I think on its own, it's a neatly staged sequence with her, like, ripping the flags down and everything's still. I think it was neat, but I agree it doesn't fit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The pacing is the thing that got me. Like,
yeah.
This needs to be like a fast-paced crap is going down scene. So if it was shorter...
he just wished to be Sultan, and he just wished... Then what does he wish for?
Well, after she convinces the guard, Hakim, to stand up to Jafar, and the others do too, he's like, alright, then I'll be a sorcerer. And he wishes to be a sorcerer, and it feels like, okay, then what was the point of that song?
Well,
checkmate.
Okay, so I feel like he possibly would not have had to make any more wishes if being the Sultan had worked. So this gives him a reason to be like, all right, well, if no one will listen to me, I'll force them to listen to me. And so it felt logical to me.
Then you will cower before a sorcerer!
And also it gives him a contrast with Aladdin, where Aladdin kind of comes to a realization where he's like, I can't force people to respect me, and, I'm just me, where Jafar refuses to accept his place. He's basically like, if you will not do this for me, I will force you. And so that's when he becomes a sorcerer and starts using magic to force people to
Doesn't
obey
turn
him.
Raja into a kitten, though.
Yeah. No, Raja just disappears.
Head down, boy.
Yeah, where does the tiger go?
Yeah, they say restrain the tiger, and I guess they do. Or Jasmine says, no, Raja, and Raja just like, okay. And just kind of like sleeps throughout the rest of the
there is a scene where Jafar poofs Raja. Raja disappears.
Oh, yeah, I remember
he does?
that. Yeah,
oh, okay,
he
never
poofs
mind.
a few people. I think he poofs all the guards away, too.
Yes, he does.
And he doesn't get the Prince Ali reprise.
No.
Oh, that was such a good scene in the original. I feel the loss.
Okay.
It would be silly in the live-action remake, but it's so good.
It would give him more character.
Oof. Jason has feelings. Man, Disney villain songs are so cool, and like on the one hand, it kind of sucks that Jafar doesn't have one. On the other hand, I think he's the only villain who ever just hijacked the hero song like that, and it's very cool, actually, when you think of it like that.
It's awesome.
He takes away Aladdin's Aladdin was gonna, fess up before this, but he takes that away from Aladdin, and shoves it in his face and sends him to the ends of the earth, mocking him with his own song, and it's great.
It's great. Jafar's great in the 92 version.
Jafar's great.
Yeah, and again, the snake transformation that happened in the original, it was inspired by Maleficent. Yeah. So it's the similar thing where you take a character who was already a scary as heck magical threat that they were not doing a very good job of fighting, and now it's like, oh!
Yeah, now he super can't fight you.
Yeah.
Instead, Iago gets big.
He gets big. And he chases them around for the lamp.
Yeah, not a fan. It's like, it just felt like a silly Hollywood blockbuster climax.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Rick'em, rack'em, rake, stick that sword into that snake.
You stay out of this. Jafar, he's our man. If he can't do it, great!
And I feel like this is probably why they added the stipulation that you have to be holding the lamp to, make a wish. Because if they didn't, then if they just took the lamp and, rode away on the carpet, they could have wished all this better or something.
Yeah.
Which is what they should have done. They had plenty of time.
It makes logical sense, but I don't know if I like it, even though it makes logical sense.
Yeah.
I know, I don't either.
Then he's being mean to everyone. And then he... Why is he so mean?
He demands that everyone cower before him because he's in charge now.
Rawr.
And he's about to go attack their ally. Because he's just so hung up on attacking that ally for some reason. I guess.
He really wants to stick it to... I guess that's where Jasmine's mom came from, so he just wants to be an ass.
Yeah.
Also, it's implied that they have their own standing army, and even though they have... This is one thing that I was thinking of, theme-wise, is the other village has an army. And being a good leader would be about trusting that because they are an ally, they're not going to use that army against you, your friends. Where a weak person who is scared of everything, scared of losing power, is like, no, we have to have a bigger army. We have to be able to defend ourselves against them. How dare they have a bigger army? Attack them. Get rid of that big army that's possibly a threat, but not, because I don't trust people.
Does that sound familiar?
Politics.
We don't get political on this one, no.
Yes.
So, he wants to attack. And how does he make his third wish?
Aladdin, basically in the same way as the original movie, says that the genie is still more powerful than him, and he's only second best.
You're only second, right? That's from the sequel.
Again, this is a change that I'm not sure I like, because in the original movie, it is Aladdin's cunning that gets him to wish to be a genie, where in this one, it's like Aladdin goads him, but it's the genie himself who decide, like...
You know what? I see why this doesn't work. It's, because they got rid of him kind of goading the genie before into the first wish, so it doesn't really follow his character anymore to be goading Jafar.
Ah,
you know?
there you go.
When I was saying earlier about how Aladdin's kind of an ass, what I meant was he's kind of a smart ass. He can, he's sneaky in that way, because he's a street rat. Riff-raff.
Yeah. Sneaky, Charlie.
So now that we're in the climax, I do want to take a moment and talk about the change. So, in the original movie, again, Aladdin says the genie will always be more powerful than you, and Jafar wishes to be an all-powerful genie, quote. So, originally it was Aladdin who tricked him and figured out that he would want to be a genie, where in this one, Aladdin just kind of goads him, and he says, I wish to be the most powerful being in the universe, and the genie finds a loophole to turn that wish into there's a lot of gray area in the most powerful being, and so that's what allows him to turn him into a genie.
So if Aladdin's not trying to goad him into being like a genie, what's his plan? Be a god?
Yeah.
And then what?
Yeah.
Oops.
Yeah, I don't know.
That doesn't really follow, does it?
Yeah.
But yeah, so the change earlier in the movie where the genie is like, there's a lot of gray area in make me a prince. And it changes with Aladdin tricking the genie into getting him out of the cave and then tricking Jafar into wishing to be a genie. There's a bit of a disconnect there where now it's just like, oh, well, he didn't rub the lamp. So it's a little bit less where he's good at manipulating people's emotions a bit. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's not a huge change. It doesn't affect the story that much. Again, this ending still made me have feels, so... like the romance at the end when they finally get back together and it's so cute. And
we're ahead of ourselves.
Just
There's
celebrating.
one more thing
okay,
we're going to talk about.
I'm sorry.
About the climax. We have to look at how garbage Genie Jafar looked.
Garbage.
Oh my... Come on.
He looks like a PS2 character.
He just looked like himself with no shirt.
He looks like an early CGI 2000s character.
He didn't look like a demon like he did in the 92 version.
Like in the 92 version, he was red and big and like had
scary.
No irises in his eyes.
This was just...
He looked great.
Who plays him in this? Marwan Kanzari without a shirt on.
Yeah, he's slightly beefier. This is the theme with genies in this movie. They're just slightly beefier.
What do you think, Carrie?
Same. Well, I mean, the design is consistent because they do the same thing with his character that they do with the Will Smith genie, but I'm not a fan of the Will Smith genie design when he's in genie form, so I'm also not a fan of this genie form. Again, with the strangely short arms and the beefy but not defined muscles, there's like chunk, I don't know.
Yeah.
Why wasn't he red? He was just kind of like slightly sunburned.
Slightly sunburned, yeah.
Well, I mean, it is flat and immense and the heat is intense.
You're not wrong.
Chaotic, but hey, it's home. It's not barbaric because we can't say that anymore.
It's not as beefy as this... Oh, man, I shouldn't have Googled Genie Jafar without...
Oh, no.
I found the DeviantArt links.
Rookie mistake, Becca.
Damn it. Anyway.
And just to be clear, I am not saying that the line "It's barbaric, but hey, it's home" is better.
No.
I'm just saying.
There's actually kind of an interesting thing with the cultural sensitivity in this. It's like they changed a lot of the lines of the songs that talked about the culture being barbaric, or they cut off your ear if they don't like your face, or...
That was in the original, though.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, the guy who straight up almost cuts Jasmine's arm off is just kind of like holding it when she gives away apples that weren't hers.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, how dare you steal.
The problem is, though, that even though they changed those lyrics, they still have kind of an issue where... This is not any particular culture. It's just sort of a mishmash of all things from the Arabic world. Like, it's the marketplaces of Morocco, but with, like, the building design of Istanbul. So, yeah, it's still kind of not the best culturally in terms of representing the culture. It's still just kind of like a white person's imagining of all things exotic and Middle Eastern mashed together into an imaginary country. But,
I saw a newspaper interview with the fellow who played Aladdin, because he's from Toronto, so it's kind of a big deal to us that was in a movie, I guess. Where he said he really hopes that this movie appeals to the Egyptian audience, and I was just like, why? Why them specifically? Okay. That's kind of weird.
This isn't really an Egyptian story, but all right.
I mean, sure, I also hope it appeals to them and to everyone, but it's kind of weird to single them out, I guess. You were in the movie, and you seem to be very confused.
And Jafar's like, yeah, I have power. And Aladdin's like, not so fast, Jafar. And he gets sucked up into the lamp. And Iago does too, so I guess they're going to give him a redemption arc in the next one. And Genie throws it into the Cave of Wonders. And hooray! Jafar is dead. He's not dead, but he's disposed of.
And this was the moment where I started crying because the relationships were cute and Jasmine got a character arc and Aladdin got a character arc. And
I was kind of feeling it too. I didn't cry, but I was feeling it.
I felt nothing.
Jason felt nothing.
And he will not stop until everybody else is as cold and dead inside about this movie as he was.
How dare you all like a movie that I didn't?
And again, even when I was rewatching it and nitpicking the hell out of it, and it's like, this still got to me. It's just, it's cute relationships, and the character arcs still feel complete, and I love Jasmine's character arc in this. Like, in my opinion, they improved Jasmine's character. Like, in the original, she's nice, but they completely neglect the political set. Yes, that too. She is very beautiful in the original.
I said words. Hot.
She said hot.
But yeah, no, you're totally right. Like,
yeah.
She has motivations aside from I'm girl, I'm love.
What, you marry for love?
Marry for love and not for money, damn it. And if you haven't gotten that point by now, we will keep reminding you in every Disney movie ever.
Wow. Got him. Oh, and spoiler, the cute reveal that, like, well, I mean, this is kind of obvious that the narrator on the boat is a genie.
Yes, very obvious.
I forgot about it by the end because they didn't keep intercutting, so boo.
Well, that's fair.
So there you go. The narrator on the boat with his two kids are Genie and the handmaiden who got married and spawned.
Yeah. We will have 2 children, and we will travel around the world, and I want a big boat with multiple levels and big sails. I was thinking a smaller boat. That's perfect. And they kiss, and it's cute, and I love them.
Yay.
Jasmine becomes the Sultan because she's smarter than her dad still. And
the Sultan wasn't funny in this one.
No, he wasn't. He was boring.
Well, I don't know. Like, I actually kind of like that they actually made the Sultan seem like a competent political leader instead of, as Lindsay Ellis put it, being a 2-foot fat ass with all the manliness of a weeble.
Listen.
But which is more fun? Which is more fun? The Sultan who gets obviously tricked by this obvious villain,
I'm a great
and
judge
the
of
only thing
character.
he objects to, is that Jafar is so old.
So old.
Or this competent leader guy, who is more memorable in the long run.
Dumpy Sultan.
Yes. Anyway, he makes his daughter the Sultan, and she being the Sultan now, she decides, yeah, I'm going to marry Aladdin anyway. And
it is Jasmine that changes the law to allow people to marry.
I'm legalizing everything.
Jasmine's the one that changes the law that lets people marry who they want, instead of her dad saying, oh, well, you've proven your worth to me. From now on, the princess shall marry whoever. I like that change.
Yeah. No, yeah, me too.
Yeah. It's alright. It's alright.
Final verdict. Do we recommend it? Yeah, I do. Keep your expectations, realistic. Don't think it's going to be the greatest thing ever. Go into it with an open mind, and you'll probably have fun.
And I say yes, I do think that this movie is way better than I was expecting it to be.
Absolutely.
But I do have problems with it, and again, there's a bit of an issue with tonal mismatch and trying to fit multiple artistic visions together into a coherent whole, and it doesn't quite do that, but I still recommend it. I loved it.
Me too.
I give it a half and half.
Like a double-double?
I don't know. If anything I've said, a double-double.
That's a Tim Hortons joke.
If anything that I have said has made you go, yeah, I don't like that either, then you probably won't like it, but I don't know. I don't hate it as much as I do
Beauty and the Beast.
I don't know, Beauty and the Beast, or even Cinderella, which I didn't hate either, but I didn't really like.
Maleficent. Channel all your hatred into Maleficent.
Oh yeah, Maleficent. It's not as bad as Maleficent though. It's just kind of meh to me. And if you feel like you'll like it, then you probably will. I don't know.
So we have 3 quick pieces of news. This is going to be our longest episode ever. Jason, do you want to cover the trailer? Carrie, you cover the magic thing.
Yes.
I'll cover the last the surprise news. So Jason, you go first.
Sure. Pixar recently has released the teaser for their next movie, an original movie called
Original
Onward.
movies! Oh my god, they still exist!
Wow.
They can still do those.
I think it looks cute.
Yeah, it looks
I
alright.
like the idea of the world. I haven't seen Bright, but I feel like this was what Bright was supposed to be.
Yeah. Once with the Dark Lord, always with the Dark Lord.
Tom Holland, Elf.
Yeah.
Someone pointed out on Reddit or something that there's a character in this other movie that's coming out, Spies in Disguise or something, that Tom Holland's in, and the character designs are identical.
Yeah.
It's kind of hilarious, actually.
A little bit. Somebody else pointed out that if this movie were made like 8 years ago, Tumblr would be all over the Tom Holland elf character.
Looks like I'm gonna have to lead the charge.
Yeah, it's got Tom Holland, Chris Pratt, and Julia Louis-Dreyfus.
She played Princess
as their
Ada,
mom.
didn't she?
Yeah, she's finally back with
Also,
Pixar
Elaine
again.
from Seinfeld.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. She's gonna find out if Pixar is sponge-worthy. I don't know.
Speaking of Sponge,
Yeah, as a D&D fan, this fantasy world setting has me very amused. There's pretty much
Yeah, me
no
too.
plot details involved, but I do want to see, like, it looks like the Toy Story thing, where, they're playing up all the jokes that they can make with these classic toys, where this looks like all the jokes that you can make with, like, fantasy characters. So, I'm into it.
me too.
Mm-hmm.
Carrie, you do your news now.
Okay, so, in addition to being a D&D player, I am one of the nerd clan, obviously. I am a big competitive Magic the Gathering player. Guess what is going to be adapted into a 12-episode anime series on Netflix?
What?
Yu-Gi-Oh!
Magic the Gathering!
Oh!
Holy crap. Who's doing it?
I forget.
Carrie. That's okay.
It's the Russo
The
brothers.
Oh. Wow.
Yeah, the Avengers boys.
Wow.
Yeah, the Avengers Endgame directors. I remember now.
Is it going to be anime in the same sense that, like, the Castlevania Netflix series? Is this for Netflix?
It is for Netflix. I get the sense that it's going to be similar style to, like, Netflix's other animated, like, big spectacle shows. Like, I'm assuming it's probably going to be similar in style to, like, She-Ra or
She-Ra.
the other, like, anime-inspired American shows that they've done.
I was thinking the Castlevania show because it's very much got an anime look to it, and it's a lot darker. I don't really know the plot of Magic the Gathering, so I don't know if they're going to go darker or if they're going to go...
Magic the Gathering is a story about planeswalkers who travel the multiverse fighting this big... Well, okay, recently they've been fighting this big bad villain, Nicol Bolas. I don't know what part of the story they're adapting. Magic has a new part of the story, like, 3 times a year. It is a huge story spanning the entire multiverse. They could choose any part of it, honestly. So I have no clue what they're doing.
Maybe they'll start from the beginning. How long has Magic been around? Like, since the 80s or 90s?
1993.
Neat.
The current storyline really started around, like, Lorwyn Time Spiral, which was, like, 2006-ish. So probably about 13 years worth of Planeswalker-related stories, which presumably is what they're going to be doing. But I am hyped. Like, great directors, an anime-style show, not like a, cheap live-action thing, but actual, like, animation where you can actually do whatever you want with this world of magic. I'm so excited, you guys! Ah!
Has there ever been any kind of adaptation of Magic like they've tried to do for D&D?
Nope.
Neat.
I hope it ends up better than the D&D adaptation. Although Jeremy Irons being this super hammy villain would be very much appreciated.
Have you seen the D&D movies, Carrie?
I know about the D&D animated show, which is horrendously cheesy, but like in a cheesy 80s kind of way where it's charming, nostalgic cheesy.
Mm-hmm.
But I have not seen the Dungeons and Dragons movies.
They're a treat. We definitely
great.
watched both of them, but the only thing I remember is Coral Blue number 2. Speaking of the surprise news that was just announced today, SpongeBob SquarePants is getting a spin-off.
Say what?
Spin-off?
It's getting a spin-off. In the article from Polygon, it's going to be called, or the working title is Camp Coral. It's going to be about, like, preteen SpongeBob at summer camp. And it's going to be CGI. And I'm scared.
Oh, no.
Huh.
I was on board a little bit until you said preteen and then CGI.
Yeah, it's set to begin production this June.
Is this going to be like a Yo-Yogi situation?
Really a spin-off if it stars the same main character?
I don't heckin' know.
Well, it's like the difference between Big Bang Theory and Young Sheldon, I guess.
Goodness.
Yeah, that's fair.
I don't know, man. I love classic SpongeBob. Who doesn't? The first 3 seasons and the first movie. I've tried watching new episodes every now and then. They are not the same.
The
so
quality got a lot better when Steven Hillenburg came back.
Yeah. Rest in peace.
Yeah. Sad.
Apparently, and I don't really see a source for this, apparently Steven Hillenburg, never wanted there to be spin-offs or anything, so this is a little...
now I am doubly scared.
So they had to wait
SpongeBob, pretty much every season that Steven Hillenburg did not work on, I was like, ugh. I completely got off the SpongeBob train after about season 4 or 5, and did not get back on it until, the end of season 8 or 9 when Hillenburg came.
I didn't even come back to it, honestly.
No, I have watched some of the new episodes. They're good.
Yeah, they say they've gotten better.
I have the first 3 seasons on DVD, and I just watch them all the time, so that's all I need.
Yeah, I make a fool of myself by quoting SpongeBob at work, and we're starting to get more people my age in the casino, so some people are starting to get it instead of the adults just looking at me weird,
SpongeBob goes with everything,
There's
man.
a SpongeBob reference for everything.
Everything.
Except for what I'm saying right now. I'm, racking my brain for one. Any other animation news?
You had a dream, Becca, and you've been teasing it for a while, so you gotta tell us what that is.
I had a dream last night about Toy Story 4. I had a dream I went to the theater to see Toy Story 4. It followed Woody around. I think he was back with Andy or something with all the toys, and, Andy was moving, and Woody, fell out of the car or something, and ended up getting into shenanigans, and I was watching this movie in my dream theater, and what the heck, it kind of got scary at the end, where Woody was in some form of peril, and then the movie just cut off, and it was only 40 minutes in or something, and the whole audience was like, what happened? So I went to the ticket taker, and she told me, oh, this is what Pixar's going to do. They're only giving you the first half of the movie. And I said, well, that's not right. None of the ventriloquist dummies from the trailer or anything were in it. And she's like, no, this is how it is. And I got really mad. So I went and played a claw machine that had some Five Nights at Freddy's toys in it. And I won all of them. That was my dream.
Wow, that's what it was a dream.
Shut up. I'm good at claw machine. They just cheat. Anyway, so my hopes for Toy Story 4 are not my dream. I hope it's a full, at least 90 minutes, and I hope it doesn't cut off mid-climactic scene.
Yeah, I don't think Pixar would do any cheap tricks like that. Hopefully they still know better.
Yeah, I'm starting to get a little more optimistic for Toy Story 4 as we get closer to release date, but
when
we shall
is
see.
That out? Next month?
The 21st.
Oh, geez.
Yeah, 2.5 weeks.
So, anyway, I think that's about it.
That's all, folks.
How do we end the podcast? I forget.
Get the hell out, folks.
Well, we already talked about our final thoughts. Eventually, we're going to say Mitch, play us out. Aside from that, we just say random things until we make a funny happen.
No, we...
Yes, but we also do
our
sign
me.
offs.
I'm me. How me...
Who are you?
I'm Becca McGraw. Find me at ribexorcist.com. I am an artist. I'm going to draw us a new title card starting for this episode.
Ooh.
Oh, nice.
Happy birthday, guys.
Nice.
Nice. Is it our birthday?
No.
Okay.
Well, okay. It can still be your birthday because I'm still drawing your birthday present. So therefore, your birthday has been extended by 3 months.
Oh, I love it. Have a very merry unbirthday, listeners. Passing it on.
Yes,
you.
I am Jason Knott. You can find my reviews on whatever reviews on blogger.com. I have reviewed Aladdin. I'm a little more mean here because there aren't people to defend the movie.
Yeah,
those darn co-hosts and they're having opinions.
So look for that.
He'll make his own podcast with blackjack and hookers.
And I'm Carrie Dreplo. I am animation critic on YouTube, all one word. Also, Cheetah King 243 on YouTube, all one word. Have not updated either channel in forever. I'm working on it.
Do it.
Yeah, I need to do it. I've had people bothering me. Are you okay? Yeah.
Is Pokemon animation? No.
Is mayonnaise an animation?
Alright, now Mitch can play us out. We had a funny.
Hooray, a funny.
Do an episode on Life of Pi? Is that animated?
Yeah, let's do that.
Yeah.
No, okay, Carrie's vetoing it.
I don't know. I feel
and
like we can
CGI
get a...
and everything in between. That's the slogan.
That's our slogan, and we're sticking to it.
Yes.
Yes.
Poof. Don't you clap at my boy?
I'm gonna add that cartoon poof sound. God, I can't find that sound anywhere.
Jason, is your first wish to have a soundboard? So you can just add random sound effects to
like a radio station, like.
Yes, exactly.
Destination animation on 97.1. I don't know.
Did everyone's mics cut out?
There was a moment where, like, everyone's mic cut out, I think.
Okay, well,